Welcome, you guys, to another episode of Trendy with Allison. And this is a Kim's Chair rant for you guys today. Not rant, it's a solo episode. So thank you again for tuning in, for subscribing, for supporting the show. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, the notification button. If you already have, thank you very much. If you're on podcast, a 5-star review would be amazing. Subscribe and follow over there as well. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. All right. So today I jump on here, you guys, when I got these thoughts swirling through my head during the week. And I'm like, I cannot wait to sit in this chair and discuss it with the Trendy tribe, which is you guys. And I love the feedback you guys have been giving me when I post my stories, because I mean, this is a hairdressing podcast, but we also are real people living real lives, and we're dealing with the same things that everybody else is dealing with. I do have clients who subscribe, and it's primarily for hairdressers, but I love the support that my clients give me. I try not to do too much bashing of clients, but you can't like everybody, okay? And I do have like a handful that, oh, I love you, but my goodness, you are who you are. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyway, I digress, because I am here today, you guys, to talk about hate. I am in this season of forgiveness, which has just my mind, it doesn't stop with just the one episode, right? You start to think about other things. You have this domino effect of thoughts, and perfect place to share. I feel like hate, it's in its era right now. It's in its season. It is living its best life. If hate was a person, I envision hate to have like this big, fat, tight, full belly, because it's gluttonous. It thrives on junk, right? Junk food, junk thoughts, and all the people who just are leaning into it, are feeding it. And so, it just keeps getting fatter and fatter and bigger. And it is, ew, it's just nasty. I just imagine it to just be a what do you call it? Like a slug, just ugh, like, and I hope someday we can move past this, and I'll be so glad when this pendulum swings, because I'm so over it. If you go to Threads, there's hate over there. There's hate on TikTok. There's hate on Instagram. And I realized that I can change this. I can change the algorithm. But before I tell you the good part, I want to talk to the people who may be watching or listening. If you are a person, right, and anything that I'm going to say moving forward too, by the way, I should say, because if you're vain, remember that song, You're So Vain? This ain't about you, okay? This is not about any one particular person. This really is a conversation that I would love to get your feedback on, because I want to talk to people who feel this way, who are always in some bullshit, who are always in some type of argument, some type of just toxic situation, people who just, if you respond to content in the comment sections, you only respond when you can say something mean. You can't just leave a laugh emoji. You have to tear down the person. Or if you create content like that, where you have to tear everybody down and make fun of everybody, and then you think, that's somebody's. I used to share those memes back and forth, and I do less of that now, because I have been more intentional with trying to change my algorithm and liking and following things that actually feel good and things that don't make me anxious and make me feel away, because I'm just choosing not to do that, because our brains, it's all programming. We can program our brains. We can get off of a rut anytime we want. We could just step off and create a new path. You just have to want to, right? So again, back to the question at hand, Miss Rambler, before you go off on a tangent. But I wanted to just give some quick steps and things that I do to, and just the way I think about this and the way that I healed and that I work on every single day. Because am I perfect? No. Do I still piss people off? Yes. Do I love toxic reality TV? Yes. I do love dating shows, but I will say this. I don't necessarily like when it goes too dark. I don't like that part. I like the relations part. Just seeing two people and how they connect and relate to each other, how they solve conflict. All of those things are what interest me. I fast forward sometimes through parts that are cringe or that are too mean. So I really don't like that. But hey, I'm not perfect, like I said. But in my 59 years, I have grown, and I do want to share some of these things for the next generation of hairdressers, of people, young people, okay, anyone watching. So my thought is, if you are this person, what are you telling yourself? That's where you have to start. Like, what are you telling yourself? Because what you focus on is what you gravitate toward. So if you're telling yourself something, or if you're telling yourself you can't have something, right, that makes you want it more. So if you're telling yourself that this is okay, if you're telling yourself that, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like I've told myself, oh, that's just a little light shade. No, it ain't. It's hate. It's evil. It's mean. And why do I even want to think that or be that? It's awful. So if you are this person and you're always in some shit, right? You're always caught up in some shit. First thing, what part do you play? What is your role in that? Do you ever ask yourself that? Like, I want to know, to that person, what are you telling yourself? Right? Because when the common denominator is you, well, that's telling, right? And if it's always that, are you happy? Are you happy in that role? Do you like that position, to always be the hater, to always be the troll? Do you like that? Does that fill your cup, if you will? Because I used to be on that toxic side. And here's what I told myself. I literally, when I talk about that rut that I mentioned, I literally just got on a new path. Now, do I veer off and have to get back on the path? Veer off, have to get back on the path? Absolutely, because I'm a human being and I am not perfect. But I had to tell myself, I said, I don't want to feel bitterness. I don't want to. And I literally have to say it out loud. I don't want to be at odds with people. I don't want to have a selfish heart. It does not feel good. It honestly doesn't. You go to sleep at night and you're in your own thoughts with yourself, and that's all, it's reeling through your head, right? That can't feel good. And so if you live in stress like that, because I can't imagine that is not affecting your health, then I would be, I just don't know how you do it, right? So to leave you guys with food for thought, something to think about, just some tools you can use, because this is what I do for myself. I wouldn't ask you to do anything I don't do for myself. I want you to think about the top 3 things that irritate the shit out of you, right? And then I want you to ask yourself, number 1, what is my filter? Because if I always come in hot, if I always come in at a 10 and that's my starting point, okay, then that's something you need to consider, maybe adjusting your starting point. Like, what is your filter? Do you come in with an open mind? Do you come in already bitter? Do you come in like, you gotta prove why I should like this? What is your starting point? Second thing I want to ask yourself, rather, I want you to ask yourself, what role do I play in that? Where I'm bitter and angry and mean and with these awful thoughts about something, a person, place, or thing. What is my role in that? Do you have any role at all? Or are you always just the outside looking in, just thinking stuff, right? Even if we're talking about social media, even if you just follow other accounts, if you're following those negative accounts, that's still you. You still are playing a role in it, right? Okay. If you do that in life, you're always arguing with your friends, your coworkers, your husband, your wife, whatever, you got a role in that. So, third thing, I want you to ask yourself, am I comparing? Because if you're comparing, then that means you're projecting. You're projecting things that you may be insecure about in yourself, and you're putting it on the other person. So it's displaced, right? If you're projecting. So ask yourself that. Am I comparing and projecting? 4, what do I get out of this? I mean, what's in it for me? So I'm in this position. I told you, or I thought this about you, or, haha, I exposed you. Oh, look what I did. What did you get out of that? Did it do anything for you? Did it pay your rent, your car payment? Like, what did you get out of that? Did it brighten your day? Um, did it make you feel better, or did it make you feel worse? Did it make you feel like you want to keep going? That's a really valid question that you need to ask yourself. And lastly, and this is the hardest part, because it's hard for me too, because I do not receive criticism well, whether it's constructive or not. I do not. And I have people who care about me that try to give me advice and constructive criticism. And my immediate response is on 10. I'm like, well, let me explain why I do what I do, and you need to just worry about what you do. I immediately go there. However, I have grown in that space because I now have learned to digest it, dissect it, and come back. My comeback is quicker. It used to be 2 days. Now it's about 20 minutes. Okay, maybe 15. Where if I'm wrong, and I'm able now to recognize that I'm wrong, once I wrap my head around it, I have to think that I'm wrong too, right? So if I feel misunderstood, I think that's a better way to put it, then I have to first get you to understand why I feel that way. Then we can start the conversation, and I am able to receive your intent and your intention. And some would say, well, just know my heart. Just know I don't think that. But it's hard. It's hard when you're receiving criticism to really see the light in that moment, right? You have to have some tough ass skin. And if you have reached a point where that stuff can just roll and bounce off your back, I envy you, and I cannot wait to get there. I promise you. I do not like to feel angst, or I don't like to feel any of it. I don't want to feel away, at least in the wrong way, right? So that's my last assignment for you, something for you to consider. Find somebody that you trust, right? Maybe it's your mentor, somebody that loves you, somebody that you feel safe to ask this question to, because you don't want, I'm not saying find somebody that is a hater and somebody that really, or that's jealous of you, or that can't wait to tear you down. Don't find that person. Find the person that you feel safe to ask this question to, and ask them ask your friend to evaluate you. Ask them, how do you see me? I know how I see me. I know what I think I'm saying and doing and how I'm coming across, but to you, what do you see? That's going to be, and prepare, put your armor on, prepare yourself for however they're going to answer that question, because I promise you, it feels like a dagger. I can't wait to hear, I can't wait for you to work the steps, right? Because I'm working these steps actively every day, every week, just trying to be better. It just feels better, you guys. And I wanted to put that out there because I want this podcast to be a safe place to land, where when you listen to it, you exit feeling good. And maybe you want to share it with a friend, and maybe you can't wait for the next episode because you are subscribed, and or you're getting ready to subscribe. And I love you guys so much, and I honestly cannot wait for the next episode. Oh, and before I go, I believe I'm having a next Wednesday, I have Carly Zanoni of the Blonde Chronicles on the show. All right? Okay, you guys, I've said my piece. Bye.